Face of Evil is the first story to introduce a new companion, Leela. And it's not before time, as Tom Baker talks directly into the camera in his first scene, which is extremely creepy and hopefully will not happen again. It's also the first story by writer Chris Brooker, who would go on to write many fine episodes of Blake 7 and Star Cops. This is not one of his best, but it has enough good ideas that you can certainly see his potential. Leela certainly makes a strong impression. I can remember her being a bit of an idiot in later stories, but in her first appearance she comes across as the most intelligent member of the tribe, the most willing to question received wisdom and listen to the Doctor. Her relationship with him is still somewhat guarded. She's clearly his favourite among all the characters on this planet, but he doesn't quite like her enough to invite her on board the TARDIS. She has to barge her way in, which certainly makes a good change. After being best friends with Jo and Sarah, it's good to have a companion that he's not quite so attached to, at least at the start. As to her costume, it's certainly extremely skimpy, but the males of her tribe wear even less, so it works in context. There's a strong theme of science versus religion here, with the 17's primitive beliefs all turning out to have scientific explanations, and their god Zoannan turning out to be just an insane computer. Zoannan himself is mainly realised through Tom Baker's face and voice, which is an interesting effect, and he certainly manages to portray Zoannan as distinctly different from the Doctor. The jungle scenes look quite atmospheric, mainly due to being shot on film, much like Planet of Evil. Unfortunately, they also feature the same invisible monsters from Planet of Evil, which are hard to take seriously as a threat. However, the Horde are visible, but look a bit silly, so maybe it was for the best. The visual of Tom Baker's head carved into a mountain is certainly a strong one, and who knows, maybe a Doctor Who fan will do it for real someday. But once the Doctor and Leela go through the head, what they find beyond is merely just a load of identical corridors, which they then proceed to run around for 2 whole episodes. It doesn't help that the Tesh who live there are rather uninspiring, with ridiculous costumes, and only one of them is given an actual character. The DVD has more than an hour of extras. There's the 25-minute making-of documentary, in which we get to see Leela's original makeup, which looks a bit like blackface, so thankfully they knocked that on the head. And Louise Jameson speaks candidly about her troubled relationship with Tom Baker. At the time, that is, they've become friends since. There's 9 minutes of film outtakes, which are in colour but with no sound. Tomorrow's Times, presented by Wendy Padbury, is 14 minutes of news clippings from the time of the 4th Doctor, and the readers have a great time adapting their voices for the different newspapers. From received pronunciation for the Times to common as muck for the Daily Star. Doctor Who stories has Louise Jameson telling lots of fun stories from her career, and there's a clip from Swap Shop in which she has an awkward interview with Noel Edmonds, in which he says the line, "You've got too many clothes on." There is a context, but if it was shown out of context it would well get him cancelled, if he hasn't been so already. Overall, there are some good ideas, but the execution is a bit lacking. Still, it's definitely better than average, so I'll give it a 6. Next week it's The Robots of Death, which is one of the first Doctor Who stories I bought on video, so I've seen it literally many times. Let's hope it's still as good as I remember. Meanwhile, check out the playlist in the description for my reviews of all the Doctor Who stories so far, and I'll see you next time.